Okay, so it's a law of attraction secret to get yourself to 50,000 per month every single month from here. The first thing that we need to cover here, number one, is the channel through which you're going to receive the $50,000 per month. Now, we can keep a lot of channels open and we don't have to guess, but you're going to want some sort of business, you're going to want some sort of job that has this capacity. Now, a lot of jobs don't have this capacity of earning $50,000 a month. So you're going to want to open up a channel, if you don't already have one, that would be a business, something you're passionate about. Now, if you already have a business, we're going to talk about what that's going to look like scaling wise, but it needs to be passionate business. It needs to be something you love, something you want to work on every single day, not just about the money. So number one is the channel. Now, number two here is going to be really just as important, like I said, is scaling that channel. Now, if you're already in a business, obviously this is going to be a little easier to talk about. If you're not already in a business, you need to hit this one first, okay? The scaling practices, and of course, we're going to cover some law of attraction manifestation ideas that will cover this, okay? Because you don't need to operate a business to get to 50,000 a month. You could win, for example, the lottery, right? You could be gifted the money. You could win the money, right? But we need to increase the channels, so you need to play the lottery a lot more to increase the channels. You know, you could be gifted this money. Obviously, we're going to work on the alignment of being gifted such a thing. Or you could win the money, so you need to work on more contests and enter more drawings and things. But again, opening up the channels through which to receive the supply of 50,000. One of the easiest ways that's sustainable for life is having business, okay? Now, scaling the business is going to come down to increasing your quality and increasing your quantity of service, okay? So we want to think in terms of those when we're getting to $50,000 a month. So when I first jumped from like 0 to 10,000 and 20,000 to 40,000 to 50,000 per month, this was the trick for me on how I did it. I increased the quality of my package, my programs, my products, my services, while increasing the volume in which how many people were able to buy that product, okay? So increasing the quality and then increasing the quantity or the volume. And this is how good it is. If you focus on these two things in your business, you're going to start to really scale things. So the volume could be from scaling ads, or scaling the amount of referrals you have, or scaling the amount of affiliates you have, or getting on a lot of podcasts and different things that will help you scale the amount of volume of people that are seeing your message, right? It's all about scaling and increasing. Now, number three here is the identity work. Now we're getting into some of the energy work that's really very fun and exciting. We need to start increasing your identity to becoming a $50,000 per month earner, okay? The identity here is basically what we call an archetype. When we have an archetype, basically you can look these up, archetypes are going to symbolize who you're becoming in this lifetime, and we need to match it to the $50,000 per month. So for example, we may want to start having you be an abundant sage, which is basically a very abundant guide, okay? Or it could be an abundant creator, okay? An abundant creator basically meaning you create great products, you create great entertainment, for example, you create great services that are all very, very good in terms of, remember, the quantity and quality of service while being abundant, okay? Most people have lack caregiving and also lack victim. Okay, this is where most people are at. I can't say, these people will say, I can't figure out how to make more money. I never have enough money at the end of the month, right? This is their constant story, is that they're a victim, or their constant story of I need to take care of everybody else and I can't do anything for me. Okay, really, really important. But these are the main two identities that associate with lack, not having enough, okay? So we need to start shifting the identity. In my other videos here on the channel, you can see a million different videos that I have around how you do this. What are the exercises to shift this identity? And we'll talk more about this as well. Number 4, this is just as important as the channels, the scaling, the identity, is increasing your value overall. You need to be a $50,000 per month person. That's $600,000 a year. So you need to increase the value in how you do things, increasing the value of your product, service, whatever you have there, right? Increasing your value of marketing, increasing your value of maybe selling. I know I'm covering that there, but now you see it. Selling, right? Increasing your capacity to be an entrepreneur. So knowing how to, run businesses, knowing how to actually have a business that's profitable, right? Understanding profit, understanding your accounting. I mean, the list is endless. But increasing your value is increasing your smarts, increasing the amount that you know, increasing the value you're bringing to the place we call a marketplace. Really, really important. So increasing your value will get you to also $50,000 per month. Now, another thing that's really important is finding abundance everywhere, okay? So let's talk about that. When we find abundance everywhere, essentially what we're saying is, I see $50,000 per month all the time. I see the abundance in the world. I see the abundance in how many trees there are in the world. I see the abundance of how much love and goodness are in the world. I see the abundance of financial transactions. I see the abundance of businesses. When I go down my local main street or in my city, I see how much abundance there is. You need to just find abundance in all things, because most people that are trying to get to 50,000 a month are in lack. They find lack everywhere. Not enough. The economy's not doing well. There's something going on within the real estate market. That's why they're not making any deals. That's BS. That's not true. Maybe at a physical level, sure. But when you're finding abundance everywhere, you're going to find the buyers. You're going to find the people. Everyone still needs to buy a house at some time. Everybody still needs to sell a house at some point, right? So even if there's a lot more buyers or a lot more sellers at different points in the marketplace, it doesn't influence you, because your value is way bigger than that. You have an identity of somebody who's always winning. They're always abundant. They're always a creator. You're looking at scaling. You're hiring a team. You're eliminating stuff you don't need in your business. You're automating things. And you're opening up more and more channels for more and more deals to go through, right? So this way of thinking is a very different way of thinking than the person in lack, or limited by the economy, or how things are going in the real estate market, or how things are going in this, right? Whatever it is, they're not limited by that, and they keep finding abundance everywhere. This is really, really important, okay? And then 6, this is super important with this, is keeping up awareness, maintaining awareness. What I mean by that is less stories, okay? Less and less stories playing out in the mind. What I'm talking about with stories is like those stories that say, I don't know how 50,000 a month, right? That's already a story. Or the mind comes up, when's the money going to come in? That's a story. I've never been able to do 50,000 a month. Could I really do it by the end of this year? That's a story, right? It's the ego trying to protect itself and keeping the environment safe and familiar, okay? So you don't want to listen to your stories. Maintain presence. Maintain awareness as much as possible. And then you'll start to align more and more with this energy here, because you are not in this victim role. You're not in this constant storytelling justifying why things aren't correct. So if you really look at this, and I'll zoom out here, you look at channel number 1, right? Passionate business, opening up the channels, quality, quantity of scaling, identity archetype, value, finding abundance, awareness, less stories. This will get you closer and closer to 50,000 per month. Now it seems, I broke things down and made pretty easy. This will be a challenge. There's no doubt about it. We start chipping away at this, is going to be very, very huge, okay? Now, if you want some help, make sure you link in our description below. Follow me for more. Subscribe to the channel, of course, like the video. But also in our description below, we have our energetics program. And our energetics program will help you through all of this as fast as possible. We help you quantum leap very quickly. I work with you on a one-on-one basis. I also work with you on a very live call situation on a weekly basis, and really help you move things very forward, very quickly, and a quantum leap level, okay? So check out our energetics program in the description below. Let's learn more about it so that we can help you absolutely start increasing your wealth, your capacity for abundance, and your prosperity. I'll see you there.